From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Malacañang on Monday said that there are no discussions regarding a potential reenacted budget for 2025 as Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and his cabinet members carefully review the 2025 General Appropriations Bill or GAB 2 days before Christmas. According to the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, the President met with Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, Public Works and Highways Secretary Manuel Bonoan, and the economic managers to examine the proposed 6.352 trillion peso 2025 national budget in Malacañang. PCO Secretary Cesar Chavez said the printed copy of the spending bill was only received by the palace late in the afternoon of December 20th. Chavez added that President Marcos hopes to sign the budget bill before the end of the year. Last week, the chief executive indicated that the Office of the President, or OP, would closely examine the 2025 budget, especially provisions he described as worrisome. President Marcos also stated he would explore ways to restore the 10 billion peso cut from the Department of Education, or DepEd, for 2025. Additionally, President Marcos Jr. defended the decision not to allocate any subsidy for the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, next year, citing the state insurer's estimated reserve of 500 billion pesos as evidence of its financial stability.
Dateline Malacañang.
More Filipinos were able to step inside the historic Malacañang grounds and enjoy a myriad of Christmas festivities for the 2024 Tara sa Palasyo. Speaking to reporters in Malacañang, Palace Deputy Social Secretary Dina Tantoco said around 3,000 people have visited the Presidential Palace since it opened its gates on December 16th. During the last day of the annual Christmas festivities on Monday, Tantoco said about 3,000 people visited the palace each night, almost doubling last year's attendees. From the 16th to the 23rd, the gates of the Presidential Palace opened to the public from 6 to 11 in the evening for a series of family-friendly activities, including the traditional Simbang Gabi, a stunning Christmas display, carnival-themed rides, live music performances, and an array of Filipino delicacies. The event also offered an opportunity for Filipinos to explore the grounds of the iconic seat of power, which has long been a symbol of political authority and history. The annual event, introduced after President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. took office in 2022, is part of the administration's ongoing efforts to make Malacañang more accessible to the public while fostering a celebration of Filipino culture and family values during the holiday season. Tantoco said this year's festivities were even more special thanks to an expanded selection of carnival rides and the addition of local choirs performing for children.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Monday said the government's performance should not be measured solely by public opinion polls, as it downplayed the reported decline in the trust and approval ratings of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. In a statement, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin stressed true leadership often requires making the right decision, not immediately popular. Bersamin underscored that the pursuit of public interest, not high ratings, drives every action in the Marcos administration. The executive secretary added that high popularity ratings are the bonus and not the bedrock of effective public service. Bersamin acknowledged the Pulse Asia survey results, which reflected a slight dip in the president's approval and trust ratings. However, he pointed out that surveys are merely dipstick readings of public sentiment at a specific moment in time. The palace official added that the Marcos Jr. administration has remained focused on key priorities such as improving livelihoods, fostering economic growth, and ensuring the country's future security. Despite the survey results, the palace maintained that the government is committed to continuing its work and that the president's leadership is determined by tangible outcomes rather than fluctuating approval ratings.
Dateline Malacañang.
In a related story, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, welcomed the latest results of Pulse Asia's Ulat ng Bayan survey, where 57% of Filipinos approved the perseverance of the administration of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in addressing the needs of places affected by calamities. According to DSWD Assistant Secretary for Disaster Response Management Group, or DRMG, Irene Dumlao, the favorable approval rating is the result of proper coordination between government agencies and local government units, or LGUs, in times of calamities and disasters. Assistant Secretary Dumlao stressed that the role of the Buong Bansa Handa, or the whole country is ready program, is to strengthen the DSWD's capacity to address the needs of families affected by calamities in accordance with the directives of President Marcos Jr. Also included is the pre-positioning and replenishment of relief supplies that strengthen the operation of the agency. Dumlao added that despite the widespread effect of the recent typhoons, by using the whole-of-nation approach, the government and private sector did not lack in delivering aid. In relation to this, Assistant Secretary Dumlao assured that the DSWD will continue to strengthen the collaboration among LGUs and development partners to bolster the country's capabilities in managing disasters. Also among the priorities of the DSWD is establishing more repacking centers and storage facilities.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, the Korean Embassy in Manila on Monday announced that the Korea-Philippine Free Trade Agreement, or FTA, will officially take effect on December 31st. In a statement, the embassy said the FTA enters into force a year ahead of schedule and ushers in a new era of partnership between the two states for the next 100 years. It said the FTA will unlock significant opportunities for both countries by fostering deeper trade and investment ties across key sectors such as industry, agriculture, infrastructure, and energy, which will pave the way for economic growth. With a comprehensive scope covering 97% of imports, the deal will significantly enhance market access for Philippine products like bananas and pineapples in the Korean market. Korean companies are also expected to contribute to the creation of quality jobs through expanded investments in advanced manufacturing, including automobiles, electronics, and energy. On top of economic gains, the embassy said this FTA will serve as a catalyst for shaping the future of both countries, fostering collaboration in areas such as healthcare, carbon reduction, innovative technologies, and electric vehicles. The announcement coincides with the 75th anniversary of the Philippine-Korea ties and the strategic partnership declared by the two countries this October. For over 75 years, the two nations have forged close cooperation in various areas, including politics, economy, culture, and people-to-people exchanges. The Philippine-Korea FTA was signed on September 7, 2023 on the sidelines of the 43rd Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN Summit in Jakarta, Indonesia. Under the agreement, Korea will grant preferential duty-free entry on 11,164 Philippine products, accounting for $3.18 billion or 87.4% of total Korean imports from the Philippines.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine Senator Sherwin Gatchalian on Monday underscored the importance of the Magna Carta for Filipino seafarers in providing enhanced protection and ensuring a safer, more secure working environment for these maritime workers as they return home for the Christmas holidays. Data from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or BSP showed the economic contribution of sea-based Filipino workers with their sent remittances amounted to $602.35 million in October this year. From January to October 2024, their total remittances reached $5.69 billion, marking a 14% growth compared to the $5.61 billion recorded for the same period in 2023. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. signed Republic Act or RA 12021 or an act providing for the Magna Carta of Filipino seafarers in September this year. Gatchalian, a co-author of the measure, expressed optimism about its benefits. The senator said with the Implementing Rules and Regulations or IRR out soon, the law demonstrates the country's commitment to upholding international maritime safety standards with a particular emphasis on enhancing the training and accreditation processes for Filipino seafarers. He added, the law seeks to ensure Filipino seafarers have the right to a safe and secure workplace that complies with safety standards, fair terms and conditions of employment, decent working and living conditions on board a ship, and appropriate medical care for both overseas and domestic seafarers. Between 2016 and 2021, the Philippines deployed over 400,000 Filipino seafarers, reflecting the country's strong maritime heritage. Further, it is estimated that there is one Filipino seafarer for every 4 to 5 crew members on board a vessel at any given time. The COVID-19 pandemic caused a 54% decline in seafarer deployments in 2020, but deployment levels bounced back in 2021, averaging around 40,000 monthly, approaching pre-pandemic figures.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines Task Force Kanlaon has called for immediate mandatory evacuations within the 6-kilometer extended danger zone after the Kanlaon volcano emitted a dark plume over about 1.2 kilometers high on Monday. During the emergency meeting, the task force also urged the local government units or LGUs and disaster officials to prepare for possible escalation to Alert Level 4. Office of Civil Defense Western Visayas Director and Task Force Kanlaon Chair Raul Fernandez led the Regional Interagency Coordinating Cell or RIACC to address the escalating volcanic activity at Mount Kanlaon. Representatives from the Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or PHIVOLCS, the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD Field Office, the Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG, and other government agencies underscored the urgent need for preparedness as ash emissions and tectonic earthquakes threaten local communities. PHIVOLCS strongly recommended mandatory evacuations within the 6-kilometer radius and urged the LGUs to prepare for potential escalation to Alert Level 4. It said this alert level could signal major ground deformation, which might not only affect the upper slopes but also areas farther away from the volcano, especially if an eruption occurs during intense rainfall, raising concerns about sin eruption lahars. PHIVOLCS reported that the ash plume is directed west-northwest, potentially reaching Bacolod City and surrounding areas. PHIVOLCS further said that in the case of pyroclastic density current or PDC generation, the buffer zone around the 6-kilometer extended danger zone may be expanded to ensure public safety. During the meeting, Negros Occidental Governor Eugenio Jose Lacson emphasized maintaining evacuation protocols within the 6-kilometer extended danger zone without expanding it to 10 kilometers for now. The LGUs were instructed to activate their contingency plans for worst-case scenarios. Task Force Kanlaon will conduct ocular inspections of potential sites for accommodating evacuees and assess the needs of evacuation centers, which currently require functional portalets, diapers, and other resources. The national and local officials urged residents to remain vigilant and adhere to evacuation orders to ensure their safety amid the increasingly volatile conditions surrounding Mount Kanlaon. The task force will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide updates as necessary.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, good news to all senior citizens. Philippine Department of Health or DOH Secretary Chodoro Herbosa on Monday said purchase booklets are no longer required for senior citizens to avail 20% discount on medicine purchases. Herbosa has signed Administrative Order number 2024-0017 removing the need for seniors to present a purchase booklet to drugstores together with a valid identification card and a doctor's prescription to get the discount. Consistent with Republic Act or RA 9994 or Expanded Senior Citizens Act of 2010, some provisions of Administrative Order or AO number 2010-0032 and AO number 2012-0007 were also revised. All other provisions of both administrative orders unaffected by the issuance remain in effect. In a statement, Heribosa said that on behalf of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the DOH gives this gift of convenience and more affordable medicines to all senior citizens. Meanwhile, lawmakers welcomed the DOH's decision. Albay Representative Joey Salceda, chair of the House Ways and Means Committee, in a statement said, "The booklet requirement often caused senior citizens to be denied essential medicines, especially when they misplaced or forgot the document." United Senior Citizens Party List Representative Milagros Aquino Magsaysay called DOH's move as an early Christmas gift to over 12 million Filipino seniors. Magsaysay said seniors already face the burden of presenting valid IDs and prescriptions to avail of discounts, making the booklet requirement an unnecessary hurdle. She also called on other agencies including the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI and the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD to follow suit and scrap the purchase booklet for discounts on basic goods and commodities.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 9.475 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.820 MHz. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. On behalf of the Radyo Pilipinas World Service team, this is Leo Magpayo, bidding you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.